Right now, we're going to welcome in one half of the Havoc and Hobbs 3 main event, Victor Hernandez. Thank you for the time, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty great. Thanks for having me, man.
My pleasure. Going to see you in a main event here April 21st against Derek Pettis. You've been fighting for a long time, it seems like, sir.
Yeah, I definitely have some battle scars on me, so I'm like an old yeller dog right now in this cage.
I see that you started back in 2001. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I started my MMA back in 2001. I did do some amateur boxing as a kid and some Muay Thai kickboxing matches as well.
Well, what led you down the MMA path?
You know, I was just when I was a kid, I was in a lot of trouble, and I got to meet a counselor who knew some people who were teaching at this gym in New Mexico, in Alamogordo, New Mexico, and they brought me up in it, and ever since then, I never turned away from it.
Now, it seems like there was a little hiatus a couple years ago, though. Seems like from 2012 to 2017, you weren't as active.
No, actually, in 2013, I was supposed to have my last fight, which was going to be in Legacy against a well-known fighter. Why am I having a hard name remembering it? But he couldn't make weight. The fight never happened, and unfortunately got scratched. And I stopped fighting from there. My wife passed away, and I just kind of, backed off for a while. And then I did one more fight last year. Came out to do a fight, and it was actually just to help raise the money for a friend cancer who had cancer, testicular cancer, and we did pretty good. And it was definitely worth doing. So I'm glad we got to do that.
And now I've already been told by promoter Isidro Castillo, you will be donating your purse from this fight to Team Mia, helping her fight against cancer. So tell us about that decision.
Well, of course, in the circuit, Joel, her father, is really well known throughout the community in the fight world. Awesome guy, one of the nicest people you ever be, and one of the best professional guys out there. Great third man to have in the cage, and he was always professional, but a great dude. And when this happened to him, I was just in shock with it. And a lot of people in the MMA community have reached out and helped throughout New Mexico, which is awesome. And I lost my uncle to cancer, and in a sense, I was real lucky to have him as long as I did in my life. He lived a strong life. But he was taken to us within 5 months once finding out, and I can't imagine what he is going through being his little girl. So, this seemed like the only way I could really help, and and a lot of people have reached out and helped because of it. So it's been a really great thing to do. So I'm really glad that your Coach Studio made this fight possible, and Derek took the fight, and that we were raising this money, and it's really been a great opportunity.
Now tell us about the fight, taking on Derek Pettis. What do you know about your opponent?
Well, taking on Derek, I know the dude's got willpower, he's got heart, he comes out there to scrap, that's for sure. I know he's been in the sport for a while, and he's definitely known for his boxing, and that I don't have too much info about him. Actually, we're friends on Facebook, which is pretty funny. But to me, he's a pretty cool cat. He respects what we're doing and what we're doing it for. And actually, I got sick during his fight camp, so I had to come up to 155, and he took it no problem. So I tip my hat off to him. That dude is, he's a warrior. He's straight there to fight, and I'm real glad for having an opportunity to face him.
So have you thought about the why you love to compete in MMA? Now, as you've been doing this been around this sport for 17 years, why you continue to still have a passion for it?
I was never good at anything else. But I think, honestly, I love the people that you meet. I love the easiest thing to do. Being a fighter is very difficult. You sacrifice a lot. You give up a lot. But it's great to kind of, I mean, I'm not going to make it no UFC or Bellator, but it's great to be able to do something and still have a positive outcome for people when you can, help out someone like, Lil Maya and stuff. And, my uncle believed in what I did. My wife believed in what I did. And, there are times I have a hard time being here, but I'm real glad that I could do something that they were proud of, and I try to carry that with me every time.
Has the sport been, in essence, kind of therapeutic for you with those losses that you've had?
It has, and it's, but thankfully for those losses, I've learned a lot better about coaching, because there are things that, I've gone through there that I know never to let my fighters go through and to better coach through. And, so because of that, it's been awesome, a learning experience. So you take what you can from this sport and you build from it. And hands down, I became a way better coach than I've ever been a fighter. And it's opened up a lot more opportunity for me as that. So I'm really glad that I got into it and those things happened, because it made me a better person.
What would have been some of those biggest takeaways from the sport?
One of the biggest takeaways, I remember fighting Dale Hawkins for the lightweight title in King of the Cage, or not lightweight title, it was like the 135 title. And I made a lot of mistakes there. I mean, he was definitely the better fighter, but I learned a lot about, what it took to train properly, to be in the right gym, to take the responsibility for your weight, and to understand good coaching. And it just made me overall one of the better person I am now today, because it was such a big learning experience to take on a high caliber fighter like him. And that helped out a lot.
Now you talked about yourself being a coach. Where are you coaching at?
Well, now I coach out of School of Hard Knocks. Coach Ucidio opened up his doors to me when I moved down here from Midland over a year ago now, because I used to have a gym, Genesis MMA, out of Midland, Texas. But when my wife passed, I kind of I let that go, and I died down for a while, for a year. And then I came over here, and here I am again coaching, and really enjoying it and having some fun.
What is your theory then on being an MMA coach? What's the kind of style that you like to coach?
Really, whatever's going to be successful for my fighter. I don't think about necessarily styles. I think about overall overcoming the best possible ability for my guy to win. Whether that be the groundwork, the Muay Thai, the wrestling, the Jiu-Jitsu, it doesn't matter. I mean, we're trying to make them as complete as possible and get them to where, they're going to win in their game plan. So I will never try and tell them, you got to be a striker, you got to be a grappler. I always tell them, you got to come out with a plan A, plan B. You got to be able to be good at everything and never be so one-sided, because this sport is ever growing and the talent is so deep, and it just keeps getting better and better.
What's been the biggest change in the sport in the time that you've been competing?
I'd have to say the coaching and all. I mean, back when I was fighting, of course, everybody still didn't have a jiu-jitsu coach or a wrestling coach. It wasn't always together. And now you can find a jiu-jitsu guy just about everywhere you turn, and everyone's training younger and earlier. So you see a lot more better prospects coming up and more complete fighters than what they were when we were competing back when we were younger. So you could see the talent just so much different, so much greater. And, now with all the shows and so much more hungrier fighters out there, there's a lot of great opportunities. So you can just see it's like night and day to me. And it's really awesome to see that kind of growth.
I looked at your record, and all the wins I've seen are by finish, and they seem to all be by submission. What is it about your game that's led to all those victories coming by the tap?
I think sometimes a lot about those submissions, which is hilarious, because everyone says I'm horrible at my groundwork. But it's because of that. I think they underestimate me on the ground, and I end up getting those submissions. So I'm not exactly great jiu-jitsu guy by any means. I'm just kind of I'm durable. I'm just really durable. So I get punched a lot, and I can hang in there. And for some reason, you know, when I sometimes get lucky enough to get that arm lock in, and you know, so it's been great. You know, it's kind of nice to be overlooked.
So how much would you say toughness would be a staple of who you are as a fighter?
100%. I think that's really me. I mean, you know, I'm not the most technical guy. I'm not the most clean guy and everything, but you know, for the most part, everybody would say things like, "Yeah, Victor's, you know, he's tough. He could take a beat and still come out there smiling and be like, hey, you know, next round, let's go."
Victor Ortiz, one half of the main event for Havoc and Hobbs, is going to be meeting Derek Pettis. Victor, working 12-hour days in the oil field, how do you still find the energy to go to the gym after work?
You know, I'm really, really lucky with the guys I have to train with and the coaches. Everybody will meet with me if I have late times. You know, Coach Cedillo and his son, or Edgar. I have my guys, Dalton, Joe. You know, even my niece Cassie, my friend Bernadette. She's there to help me out a lot too. It's real. Even the company I'm with right now has been really great about helping me get off a little loose if they can afford to let me go. And you know, just put in the work. The grind is always worth more than anything, and I have fun doing it. You know.
April 21st. What does it take to get your hand raised?
I'm saying I can't think anything less. I have to get my hand raised. You know, I'm coming in there to win. To think anything less is not good enough. You know, so I'm there to fight. I'm there to win.
Awesome, sir. Thank you for the time.